We ended up talking and flirting all night, and then he asked if I would go on a date with him today.
This is the changing room?
Like, what if he just ghosts me forever and that's that?
Liz went and told him basically everything I told you guys. She was telling him how I'm not ready and like he should be careful. It sounded like she was kind of warning him about me. Okay, what the?
The episode opens with tension hitting fast. Liz stands in front of everyone and senses strange energy around her. She feels eyes watching, words shifting behind her back. In one moment, she laughs with a new spark around Via, and in the next moment, whispers about her travel through the group start spreading. That sudden shift from hope to suspicion grabs attention from the first second. Sophie sits nearby, acting calm, but her mind races. She believes Pedro told her something about Liz warning him. Julia listens and nods without asking questions. Pedro stands in between, acting confused yet powerful, because his words triggered doubt. The triangle forms quick. One statement moves from one person to another and changes shape along the way. Before this chaos, Liz came on this trip seeking peace after heavy health battles and toxic past relationships. She wanted fresh energy and light moments. She met Via, felt natural chemistry, and believed maybe this time space brings something stable. That background matters because it explains why the rumor hitting her hits deeper than normal gossip. Sophie and Pedro once talked about readiness for commitment. Pedro asked questions about her emotional state. Liz answered carefully when he asked about Sophie. She spoke about healing and slow movement. Those words travel back twisted into something else. The shift from careful advice to betrayal accusation creates the main conflict of this episode. Julia chooses loyalty to Sophie without hearing Liz's side. That decision shapes the direction of drama. She accepts the version that paints Liz as someone warning against relationships. No pause, no proof, only belief. That moment builds the foundation for division inside the group. Liz notices distance growing around her. Friends who laughed yesterday act cold today. She feels confusion because she spoke honestly. She never attacked Sophie. She never planned sabotage. Yet perception inside the group turns her into the problem. Via watches from outside this circle. He sees tension around Liz and senses stress behind her smile. He tries to keep conversation light. He supports her energy. Their connection forms as protection against chaos surrounding them. The biggest shock comes from how fast friendship shifts into suspicion. One conversation between two people becomes fuel for judgment by others. That speed exposes how fragile trust remains in this group. Everything now depends on who believes facts and who believes emotions. Friendship loyalty breaks quick when rumors travel faster than truth. Tension grows because nobody directly asks Liz about the claim. Instead, assumptions control reactions. Sophie feels hurt. Julia feels protective. Pedro stays silent, watching results unfold. Liz stands unaware that her words face distortion. She believes openness protects her. She does not see how selective memory transforms her statement into an accusation. The camera focus on facial reactions shows hidden frustration and doubt. Small glances carry heavy meaning. Every smile feels forced. Every silence speaks louder than words. The group splits mentally even if bodies remain in same space. When trust shifts, everything said gets questioned. Who stands with truth and who stands with loyalty? The conflict roots itself deeper as misunderstandings replace direct communication. No one clears confusion. No one resets the conversation. They allow tension to breathe. Liz and Via spend time away from the noise. Their conversation flows without pressure. He asks simple questions about her life. She answers honestly, no judgment in his tone. No interrogation, just curiosity. That ease matters to her more than flashy compliments. After everything she has gone through, calm energy feels rare. She smiles more around him. Her shoulders drop. Her guard lowers a little. You see it in the way she laughs at small jokes and keeps eye contact longer than before. The connection did not start with drama or manipulation. It started with shared moments and natural attraction. That difference gives her hope. Liz carries heavy weight from her past. Her health battles sit at the center of her reality. Cancer treatment, surgeries, unexpected news about new masses. That fear never fully disappears. It lives quietly in the background of her mind. So when someone treats her with patience instead of pressure, it feels like safety. Via does not push her into promises. He does not rush labels. He focuses on the present moment. That approach makes her feel seen beyond her struggles. She opens up about her vulnerability. She talks about exhaustion. She talks about wanting peace. He listens without interrupting. That listening creates trust fast. But while this connection builds in one corner, something different builds elsewhere. Sophie and Julia sit together analyzing Liz's words from a distance. They interpret her honesty as warning. They frame her caution as interference. Their version spreads quietly through the group like a rumor dressed as fact. Liz does not hear that conversation. She is focused on her new energy with Via. She believes progress is happening in her personal life. She feels grateful for a chance to start again. She does not realize her name is part of a debate happening behind closed doors. The contrast is powerful. In front of her, someone treats her gently. Behind her, friends question her loyalty. That split reality adds tension to every happy moment she shares with Via. Via notices small changes in her expression sometimes. He asks if something is bothering her. She hesitates before answering. She says she is fine. But her silence suggests she already senses conflict growing around her. Her emotional state becomes fragile because she wants this connection to work. After toxic relationships in the past, she does not want to lose someone who feels healthy. That fear of losing peace makes her hold on to positive signs tighter. The question now becomes whether external drama will invade this new bond. Sophie believes Liz created problems for her relationship with Pedro. Julia supports that belief. Their focus shifts from questioning truth to protecting ego. That energy travels indirectly toward Liz and affects how the group treats her. Meanwhile, Via stands outside that chaos. He sees stress returning to her eyes when group members walk past without warmth. He does not fully understand the source yet, but he feels the tension. The connection between Liz and Via grows stronger emotionally because of vulnerability. They bond over honesty about past heartbreak and current uncertainty. That bond forms naturally. But pressure from friends testing loyalty could shake that foundation. When peace starts building, outside noise tries to interrupt it. As long as rumors continue spreading, doubt lingers over whether this relationship survives or becomes another casualty of group drama. Liz finally found someone who feels different, but will the surrounding conflict push them apart before trust fully forms? Sophie and Julia isolate themselves from the rest of the group. They move into a private space where conversation turns quieter and more intense. That separation matters. When people step away from the group to talk about one person, the tone already shifts toward judgment. They start framing the situation through their own emotions instead of facts. Sophie repeats what she believes Pedro told her. She says Liz warned him. She says it sounded like interference. The words come out with confidence because she heard it from someone she trusts, but trust does not equal accuracy. Pedro asked questions about readiness. Liz responded carefully about healing and timing. That answer travels through conversation and comes back transformed into an accusation. Julia listens and immediately agrees. She does not challenge the interpretation. She does not ask what exactly was said word for word. She accepts the emotional version of events. That reaction shows confirmation bias in action. When someone already feels hurt or suspicious, they naturally look for information that supports their belief. Anything that confirms the story feels correct. The rumor grows bigger every time it gets repeated. Sophie adds detail. Julia reacts with shock. Their facial expressions reinforce each other. The narrative becomes stronger because both of them validate it. No one pauses to verify with Liz directly. They start saying things like, Liz should have stayed out of it. They frame her words as sabotage instead of context. That shift changes the meaning completely. But here is the twist. What if Pedro exaggerated the conversation? What if he misunderstood intention? Or what if communication simply got lost in translation? Before they answer that question, emotion takes over again. Sophie suddenly says Liz might have tried to protect herself by damaging someone else's chance at happiness. That statement hits hard. Julia nods like it explains everything. But did Liz actually do that? Or is this assumption building a false truth? The accusation spreads fast, and once spoken aloud, it feels real to them. Sophie walks toward Liz with frustration written all over her face. She does not start with a question. She starts with an accusation. She tells Liz that Pedro said something about her warning him. She speaks as if it already happened and as if it is proven. Liz looks confused because this version does not match what she remembers. She explains calmly what she actually said. She tells them Pedro asked about readiness and she responded carefully about healing. Her tone stays steady. She does not attack anyone. She tries to clarify. Sophie interrupts. She says Pedro would not lie about something like that. She trusts his version more than Liz's explanation. That statement hits hard because it shows where her loyalty sits. Instead of verifying with both sides, she chooses the narrative that protects her feelings. This is where hypocrisy appears. Sophie felt triggered when she believed someone twisted her words. She accused Pedro of gaslighting her. She said she hates when people distort truth. But now, she accepts Pedro's interpretation without questioning it. The same behavior she rejected becomes acceptable when it supports her anger. People defend narratives that protect their ego. If admitting a mistake means accepting uncertainty, they often choose certainty instead. Blaming someone else feels safer than admitting confusion or miscommunication. Julia stands beside Sophie and reinforces the accusation. She adds small comments that strengthen the blame. That support makes Sophie feel validated. Validation reduces doubt, even if the foundation of the argument is weak. Liz feels the tension rising. She realizes the conversation is no longer about facts. It is about perception. No matter what she says, they already decided what story fits their belief. Sophie raises her voice slightly. She says Liz should have stayed out of their relationship conversations. The accusation turns personal now. But did Liz actually interfere? Or did she answer honestly when asked a direct question? The room grows heavy. And when truth gets ignored, who finally pays the price for it? After the confrontation, something shifts inside the group. The trust that once kept everyone casually connected now feels broken. Liz steps back from the conversation. She stops trying to defend herself because she sees it does not change anything. When people already made up their minds, explanations lose power. Sophie turns away with Julia by her side. They choose comfort in agreement instead of clarity. That choice quietly fractures the friendship group. It creates sides, not through an official fight, but through distance. Small gestures change first. Short replies. Avoiding eye contact. Sitting apart during group moments. Liz feels that separation fast. She notices when conversations pause as she walks near. She sees whispers followed by silence. That isolation hurts more than the accusation itself. Being excluded without direct explanation creates emotional weight. She came on this trip hoping for peace and connection. Instead, she feels pushed outside her own circle. Meanwhile, something unexpected starts happening to Sophie. After the intense blame session, she waits for validation from Pedro. She expects him to reassure her that he stands with her, but his energy shifts. He becomes quieter. He responds slower. He avoids deep conversation. His silence triggers doubt inside Sophie. At first, she thinks he is busy. Then she thinks maybe he is upset about the argument. Then she wonders if maybe she reacted too fast. The same confidence she had while blaming Liz begins to shake. This contradiction reveals something important. Sophie was sure of her position when she felt supported. But when support disappears, uncertainty returns. She starts questioning whether Pedro framed the situation in a way that made Liz look guilty to protect himself. That thought feels uncomfortable. It forces accountability. Instead of blaming Liz entirely, she must consider whether communication between her and Pedro broke down somewhere. Julia notices Sophie's mood change. The energy in their alliance shifts from anger toward reflection. But neither of them openly admits they might have jumped to conclusions. Liz watches from distance as the conflict unfolds. Ironically, the drama that pushed her away now creates tension inside the couple who blamed her. The friendship fracture becomes permanent when trust breaks like this. No one apologizes yet. No one rewinds the damage. So who actually miscommunicated first? And who chose to believe a version of truth without proof? And now the biggest question hangs over everything. Will Sophie accept responsibility for trusting assumptions? Or will she keep protecting the story that protects her ego? The fallout from everything that happened leaves clear consequences. Liz pulls back from the group and focuses more on people who support her without suspicion. The trust she once had with Sophie and Julia feels damaged. Words were thrown fast. Accusations were accepted without proof. That kind of moment does not disappear overnight. Sophie now sits with doubt about Pedro. She defended him loudly. She believed his version without asking deeper questions. But his silence after the confrontation forces her to reflect. She starts wondering if she reacted too quickly. That realization creates inner conflict. Julia stands beside her, but even that alliance feels slightly unstable after seeing how fast narratives changed. Pedro stays in the middle, watching tension grow without fully taking responsibility for how his words traveled. The relationship triangle remains messy. No clear winner, no clear apology. Next episode, things escalate even more. Conversations that started as gossip turn into direct confrontation. Someone finally decides to speak face-to-face instead of talking behind backs. Secrets come out. Screenshots, receipts, or direct questions could shift power again. Loyalty gets tested under pressure. Everything feels unresolved. Emotions are still raw. Trust is still fragile. When truth finally surfaces, will the group admit mistakes or double down on blame to protect pride? And more importantly, will Liz choose to fight for friendships that hurt her or walk away and start fresh with people who respect her peace? That silence builds pressure for what happens next.